All right, boys and girls, now we're moving on to example 6. And in example 6, we're basically going to be solving a trig equation. So the example that they gave us was cosine of x plus pi over 2 plus cosine of x minus 3 pi over 2 equals 1. And if you notice, they restricted our domain between 0 and 2 pi. So we want to find an exact solution, okay? And that's basically within the unit circle. Okay, so this time we're working with cosine, and we're working with the sum and the difference. So we're going to be using both equations. Okay, so sum and the difference. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with this one first, okay? So cosine of x plus pi over 2, that's going to simplify to cosine of x times cosine of pi over 2, and then minus sine of x times sine of pi over 2. Okay. I don't have a lot of room going here, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to simplify this one as much as I can, and then I'll work with that one. Okay. So if you look at the unit circle, we can find values for both cosine of pi over 2 and sine pi over 2. So according to the unit circle, cosine of pi over 2 should be, and I'm looking at my unit circle, feel free to look at yours. So cosine of pi over 2 should be 0. And then sine of pi over 2, that's going to be 1. Okay. So basically cosine of x times 0, that'll be 0. And then sine of pi over 2 is 1. So that'll be negative sine of x. Okay. So all of this basically simplify to negative sine of x. Okay. So that's that. So now we're going to work with the difference of cosine. So let me grab a different marker for that one. So now we're going to work with that one. Okay, so I'm going to do that one in green just so we can keep track. Okay, so here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write plus here because we're going to simplify that side, but we are going to be adding. Okay, so here we go. So we should have cosine of x times cosine of 3 pi over 2. And then for plus, I'm sorry, no, we're doing for difference, we should have a plus. And then we should have sine of x times sine of 3 pi over 2. Okay, again, I kind of ran out of room. And then again, we can find a value for both cosine 3 pi over 2 and sine 3 pi over 2. Okay, so looking at your unit circle, cosine of 3 pi over 2, where's 3 pi over 2? Oh, cosine of 3 pi over 2 will give me 0. And sine of 3 pi over 2 will give me negative 1. Okay, so this is 0 and this is negative 1. So basically we have cosine of x times 0, which is just 0, and sine of x minus 1, or sine of x times negative 1, I should say. That'll give me negative sine of x. Okay, so what I have here is I don't know if you guys can hear my son, but he's breathing hard next to me. Okay, so basically all of this simplified to negative sine of x. Yes, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let me just, again, everything that I did in the blue marker just simplified this trig identity here. And then everything that I did in green to simplify that trig identity. So we were left with negative sine of x, and we were left with negative sine of x, which we're adding, and then we're setting it equal to 1. So if you add these negative sine of x, you get negative 2 sine of x equals 1. And now we're just going to solve, but I need another whiteboard. Okay, so let me bring that. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. Negative 2 sine of x equals 1. So we are going to isolate the trig identity by dividing negative 2 to both sides. And then we're left with sine of x equals negative 1/2. Okay, So now to solve for it, we have to figure out what angle gives us negative 1/2, okay, for sine. So again, you can just take a look at your unit circle, and basically that'll happen at two places, okay? It occurs at 7 pi over 6, and it occurs at 11 pi over 6, okay? So when we write our answers, we want to write x equals, oops, sorry, shake my camera, 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. And that's basically because you ended up restricting our domain, so we have to give exact values. All right, awesome. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and do the checkpoint and then one more video.